Today you're going to see my full review from top to bottom on the Lonestar 42-inch pellet grill from Lonestar Grills in Texas. This thing is made 100% in the USA, everything down to the controller. I don't want to reveal too much about this yet, but there's some words that come to mind. Good, old, American muscle.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Really good to have you here. Don't forget all the support links will be down in the video description. Let's get on to this review. Now I was already kind of late to the party with this, so I decided to really take my time and give you guys the most thorough and comprehensive review that I possibly could, because let's face it, this is no small investment. Don't forget I'll have important notes or anything that I missed or want to address in the pinned comment below. So here's my journey. From the time of this video, the cooker was delivered approximately 8 weeks prior. Now as usual, it starts with that awesome phone call you get from Lonestar Grills letting you know that it was ready for shipment and going out, then being contacted by the shipper to schedule a date for delivery. These Lonestar pits are basically delivered in their own house. They're darn near fully assembled. In fact, with this particular cooker, all I really needed to do, as far as I remember, was to put the smokestack on. Took me a couple minutes and I was ready to go. I then downloaded the Fireboard app to my phone and paired the cooker with the app. That process was incredibly simple. Having owned several pellet cookers before, I can tell you that there's usually a lot of hiccups with this, either with firmware updates or some sort of glitch between Wi-Fi and Bluetooth when the cooker can't decide what it wants to connect to. This one worked instantly and paired perfectly, and I have had zero connectivity issues in the whole time I've owned this cooker so far, no matter whether I'm home, close by, or far away. Next thing I had to do was get this onto my patio in my backyard, and I've got a lot of yard to navigate, so I'm super happy that I decided to go with the off-road wheel package, because that enabled me to go ahead and pull this around my house using the pull handle and get it into its permanent spot. So if you're going to be moving yours around frequently or going to be competing in competitions, you're really going to want to go ahead and consider the off-road wheel package. Now once I got my cooker into its permanent home, it was time to perform the initial seasoning process. To do this, you're going to start by removing all the internal components. Then spray down the entire inside of the cook chamber with PAM, even the burn pot area. Just for your information, I probably went through one entire can of PAM. You'll also need to spray down all sides of all internal components as well. Then get everything back into the cooker, give it one final spray. It's important to note not to apply any oil of any kind to the outside of the cooker yet. You're going to go through a few cooks, allow that paint to set, and then you can apply some mineral oil later if you want to. It's a good idea to help preserve longevity. Okay, let's get back to it. Fill the hopper with some good pellets. Now turn on the controller, press and hold any of the 3 buttons on the left side, select pellet, and then select prime. The auger will then begin turning and feed those pellets down into the burn pot. You'll then ignite the cooker by pressing the button and adjusting the temperature. For this seasoning process, what I did specifically is I started out by going 1 hour at 175 degrees, 2 hours at 195, and then went about 90 minutes at 215 to 225. And I finished up the last 30 to 45 minutes by cooking up some burgers for dinner. Okay, let's talk about some of the standard features for this cooker. I know I've already touched on this controller, but this is a PID controller, which means it's basically smart and it learns as it goes. And I started to see that immediately upon the seasoning process. In fact, if you look at this chart, you can see the temperature swings start to narrow as it starts to learn. But just know that this is the best controller I've ever used on a pellet cooker. It is amazing technology, and it comes with lots of features in the app where you can log your cooks, upload photos, take notes, and it also has programmable features. For example, it can be programmed to monitor the temperature of any protein until it reaches a certain target temperature, and then the cooker can be programmed to lower itself automatically to a keep warm temperature of, say, 160 degrees Fahrenheit. That's just a quick example, but it does so much more, and there'll be a link down below where you can read all about this controller. Just know that even for the most simplistic cook, this thing just works. There's really no flaws. I've had no connectivity issues, and it works perfectly. If you just want to be able to change the temperature from your phone from the app, you can do that. No problem, no glitches. And by the way, temperature ranges can be set from 160 degrees Fahrenheit up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit on the controller, but over the searing area, which I'll get to shortly, can be up to 700 degrees Fahrenheit. It has a ceramic hot air ignition system, which is tested over 1 million cycles. And this also gives very quick ignition. This pellet grill preheats and lights and gives smoke faster than any other pellet grill that I have ever used.
This is the second time I'm lighting this thing, and it ignites so fast. It's not even a comparison to any other pellet grill that I have ever used. Just a couple minutes and you're gonna get smoke. It's amazing.
And it's not just smoke, it's clean smoke. And once it gets going, it is literally constant, clean, thin blue smoke, which is unlike any other pellet cooker that I have ever used, because those typically require big temperature swings for smoldering in order to produce smoke, and that's only every few minutes versus this being just constant. The cooker and controller are capable of using up to 6 meat probes. You get 2 with it, but you can always purchase extras if you're going to be doing some big cooks. The Auger is an open-centered design, which gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of different types of pellets you may want to use. Some pellets are larger, some are smaller. This one can handle them all. And oh, did I mention it can feed wood chips too? We'll get to that later. A couple really cool things about the design of this auger. Number one, it has a very short distance to travel as far as pushing pellets. And on the other side of that, pellets coming out feed down and drop into the fire pot, which means that a backburn on this cooker is darn near impossible. It's extremely safe in that regard. One thing I will say is with the fire pot being located on the right side of the cooker, I did notice that sometimes the right side of the cooker can run a little bit warmer than the left. It's really not that big of a deal. Just rotate your food on longer cooks and you'll be fine. I think the safety benefits greatly outweigh any negativity on the temperature difference, which is very slight, somewhere around 10 degrees. The pellet hopper on this cooker has a 40-pound capacity, and I've had no issues with tunneling or any other types of malfunctions with this since I've owned it. I would trust it with an overnight cook, no problem. And there is a pellet chute on the back if you wanted to change out pellets for different flavors. The burn pot is accessible from underneath the cooker, which means that when you want to give this a quick cleanup of the ash from the burn pot, you don't have to take the whole cooker apart to vacuum it. You can pull that out, dump it, put it back in, and be ready to go for the next cook. The cooker will require thorough cleanings though periodically, and I'll get more into that in just a little bit. The deflector plate is a solid 1/8 inch thick, and it directs grease towards the grease collection area, which can then be drained from underneath the cooker. And there's also a searing area directly over the burn pot. Just slide this door over, crank up the cooker, and get your sear. One of the cooks I did in testing was a couple tri-tips for a friend of mine and myself, and I did use this sear feature. And oh my goodness, did these turn out. I mean, these were some of the best tri-tips that I've ever made. Just take a look at that. A lot of times these searing mechanisms on these pellet grills are jokes. This one's not a joke. It may not be as good as having a completely separate searing apparatus, but this thing's very effective. This has a tell-true stainless steel temperature gauge, which is very high quality, and I find it to run within 10 to 15 degrees of the main temperature probe inside the cooker. The 2 food shelves inside the cooker give you a total of 1,278 square inches of cooking area. And take my word for it, you can fit a lot of food on these shelves. The lid is fully flanged and gasketed to make sure that all the smoke stays inside the chamber, and believe me, it does. It holds all that beautiful smoke hostage till it comes out of the smokestack. There is a roomy shelf on the bottom for extra storage. The probe port is conveniently located right by the fireboard controller for short runs. The cool touch handle on the front lid is at a really nice comfortable height and angle for opening. The main chamber is constructed of 3/16 inch steel. This beast weighs in at about 445 pounds, is 58 inches wide, 63 inches tall, 34 inches deep. The thick steel holds heat really well, and this thing is built to last a lifetime. And that's exactly what the warranty is on the smoking chamber and the structural steel components. There's also a 3-year warranty on the controller and the igniter, and a 1-year warranty on the auger motor and fans. Just to be clear on upgrades for my cooker, I do have the stainless steel shelf in front, as well as the off-road wheel package, and the pull handle for maneuvering it. Now as far as the wheels go, there are 2 other wheel options, 5-inch and 8-inch, and I did get a cover. By the way, meet my little girl. I love her with all my heart. Anyway, this cover is extremely heavy duty and it'll last a long time. And I encourage you to click the link in the description to go to Lonestar's website to see all the other optional equipment, including a charcoal grate, grill grates, and lots of other neat stuff. Alright, now let's get to the fun stuff. I did all kinds of cooking cooks on this cooker. I cooked burgers. I cooked so many pork butts I can't even count. And the color that this cooker puts on food, the taste, and the overall cleanliness of the smoke is just unbelievable. I've gotten beautiful smoke color and smoke rings on everything that I've cooked. Family and friends have raved about the food, and I've done a lot of cooking for people. I did tell you earlier in the video that this cooker can also feed wood chips. It's very important that I'm clear here. These are very specially sized wood chips, and they are sold only by Lonestar at this time. I bought some. These are hickory, and as you're going to see, the rest of the food I show you from here on out, for the most part, was all cooked with a mixture of pellets and wood chips. Lonestar recommends a 50-50 blend. I probably only put about 25% wood chips in, and it really elevated the color, the flavor of everything that I cooked. There was a noticeable difference, and I'll do some direct comparisons in the future. And I just want to be clear when I say that the pellets alone do a great job, but when you add the wood chips, it just elevates things. It just makes it that much better. And in case you missed it the first time, I want you to know I did test the searing capability of this cooker. It's not a joke. It works great. You can see there's a good crust on the outside of these tri-tips. And even though I showed them to you before, here they are again. Look at how delicious those are. My son absolutely loves wings, so naturally I made him some wings. He loved these. He said they turned out great. I loved them too, I gotta be honest, they were really good. Here's some smoked cream cheese and some jalapeno poppers. Those turned out awesome. This was an absolute feast that I did for Memorial Day weekend. One of the things I made that day was this pulled chicken dish. I gotta do a video on that. It was just amazing. I made some whole chickens that day. That was part of that feast. I think it was the following weekend that I found this Porter Road half dry aged brisket in the freezer. I paired that with another pork butt, and that brisket was outstanding. The next cook I did was the following weekend for some family. Shout out to George and Jamie. Thanks for all you guys do for us. Anyway, I put together some burn ends for them and some ribs. I'm pretty sure they liked them. Maybe they'll chime in on this video and let you know.
Now you can imagine that with all the cooks I did, I had to clean this thing. I've cleaned it a couple times now.
And I want to stop myself there and point something out very important. When I was seasoning this cooker and I put all these components back in place, I made a big error right here. Now by looking at this, you can probably already see that I didn't have this in place correctly. This is what it's supposed to look like. But because I was an idiot and I didn't have that installed correctly, I had a bunch of grease under there the first time around. And let me tell you, that was not fun to clean up. So real quickly, while I have you, let's just go over a regular cleanup for this. So let's just say it's time to clean it up and you want to get it done. I start by knocking all the loose stuff off the grates, top and bottom. Then one by one, you just want to go ahead and pull all those components out of the cooker.
Hey. What movie is that from? If you get it right in the comments, I'll give you props.
Despite how it looks, this cleanup's very easy. Just grab yourself a paint scraper, and this stuff scrapes right off. You'll literally be done in just a couple of minutes. Now, of course, the last part of the cleaning is to vacuum the ash out of the belly of the cooker. Now you'll see this time around, there's no grease to clean up.
See what happens when you're not an idiot? This is the one time when it's not okay to be like Mike.
Now one by one, just get all your components back in place and just make sure that deflector plate is in correctly. Of course, if you haven't already, go ahead and drain any grease that's in the cooker at this time also.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Now just wipe down the outside and you're all clean and ready for your next cook. Now I covered a lot of information here and I hope you find this video useful. I think it's time to wrap it up and summarize. And here's what I have to say. If you're in the market for a really good pellet cooker, and this is in your budget, I think you'd be hard pressed to find another cooker in this price range that's going to be built to this quality with all these awesome features and thoughtfulness in design and produce the type of food results that I've shown you here, all built from top to bottom right here in the United States of America. Based on my experience with it, I think it's worth every penny, but that choice is yours. I'll have links below, and I always encourage you to do your own homework and your own comparisons. I'll leave you with this. I asked the owner of Lonestar Grillz if he had one thing he could say about his cooker, what would it be? And he said, Mike, I set out to build a stick burner quality smoker with pellet smoker convenience. Well, Chris, I think you nailed it. Don't forget to please subscribe, like, leave me a comment below. Take care. Till next time, I'll see you on the next episode.